My Retreat, a poem written by Dr. Jose Rizal. Written in 1895 by a Philippine national hero, Jose Rizal. He wrote this poem during his exile in Dapitan, Zamboanga. Rizal wrote Mi Retiro when his mother requested him to write a poem, for it had been some time since he wrote one. Mi Retiro is about the forest in Dapitan. He pays homage to the forest and talks about the big birds. Rizal lived in the forest and it was behind him. His house was at the foot of the hill. Where he came from, Rizal grew up next to the Mount Makiling in Calamba. When he got to the Pitan, he was never again near the forest.
By the spreading beach, where the sand was soft and fine, and at the foot of the mount, in its mantle of green, I have built my hut in a pleasant groves confined. From the forest, seeking peace in a calmness divine, rest for the weary rain and silence to my sorrows keep. Its roof of the frail palm leaf, and its floor, the cave. Its beams composed of the unhewn wood. Little there is value in this hut so plain, and better by far in the lap of the mount hovering. By the song and the murmur of the high sea's flood, a purling brook from the woodland glade drops down over the stones and around it sweeps. Whence a fresh stream is drawn by rough gates, and that in the still night its murmur has made, and in the day's heat a crystal fountain leaps. When the sky is serene, how gently it flows, and its cedar unseen ceaselessly plays. But when the rain falls, a torrent it goes, boiling and foaming through the rocky flows, roaring unchecked to the sea's wide ways.
The howl of the dog and the song of the bird.
And only the callous horse call resound, nor is the voice of the vain man to be heard, my mind to harass or my steps to be heard. The woodlands alone and the sea rocks me round. The sea, the sea, for me it is all, and it massively sweeps from the worlds apart. It smiles in the morn to my soul is a call,
And when in the even, my fat seems to fall.
it breathes with a sadness on echo to my heart. By night, an arcanum, when translucent it glows, all spangled over with its millions of light, and the bright sky above resplendent shows. While the waves with their sighs tell of their woes, tales that are lost as they roll to the heights. They tell of the world when the first dawn broke, and the sunlight over their surface played. When thousands of beings from nothingness woke, to people, the depths and the heights float. Wherever its life-giving kiss was laid.
But when in the night the wild winds awake, and the waves in the fury begin to leap, through the air rush the cries that my mind shake, voices that praise, and songs and moans that partake of laments from the south, sunk down the leap. Then from their heights the mountains groan, and the trees shiver tremulous from great into least. The groves rustle from plaintive and the herd utter moan. For they say, the ghosts of the folk that are gone are calling them down to their death's merry feast. In terror and confusion whispers the night, while blue and green flames fleet over the deep, but calm reigns again with the morning's light. And soon the bold fisherman comes into sight. So onward glide the days in my lonely abode, driven forth from the world where I was known. I muse over the fate upon me bestowed, a fragment forgotten the most who crowed, to hide from mankind the world in me showed. I lived in the thought of the loved ones left, and for their names to my mind are born. Some have forsaken me, and some by death are left. But now these all are one, as through the past I drift, the past which from me can never be torn. For it is the friend that is with me always, that ever in sorrow keeps the faith in my soul, while through the still night and watches me pray, as here in my exile, in my one heart it stays, to strengthen my faith when doubts over me roll. That faith I keep and I hope to see shine, the day when idea prevails over might, when after the fray and that slow decline, some other voice sounds far happier than mine, to raise the glad of triumph of the right. I see the sky glow refulgent and clear, as when it pours on me my first dear illusion. I feel the same wind kiss my forehead sear, and the fire is the same that is burning here, to stir up youth's blood in boiling confusion.
I breathe here the winds that perchance have passed over the fields and the rivers of my own natal shore, and mayhap they will bring on the returning blast the sighs that love of being upon them has cast. Messages sweet from the love I first bore, to see the same moon all silver as of yore. I feel the sad thoughts within me arise, the fond recollections of the truth we shore, of the field and the bower and the wide seashore, the blushes of joy with the silence and sighs. A butterfly seeking the flowers and the light of the other lands, dreaming of vaster extent. Scarce a youth, from home and love I took flight, to wander unheeding, free from dove of affright. So in foreign lands were my brightest days spent, and when like a languishing bird I was fain to the home of my fathers and my love to return, of a sudden the fierce tempest roared amain. So I saw my wings shatter and no home remain, my trust sold to others and wrecks around me born, hurled out into exile from the land I adore, my future all dark and no refuge to seek. My rusciate dreams hover round me once more, sole treasures of all that life to me bore, the faiths of youth that with sincerity speak, but not as of old, full of life and of grace. You hold up hopes of undying reward, sadder I find you on your love face, though still sincere the fail lines trace, the marks of the faith it is yours to guard. You offer now dreams my gloom to appease, and the years of my youth again to disclose. So I thank you, O storm and heaven-born breeze, that you knew of the hour my wild flight to east, that cast me back to the soil whence I rose. By the spreading beach, where the sands are soft and fine, and the foot of the mount and its mantle of green, I have found a home and a pleasant groves confine, and the shady woods the peace and calmness divine, rest for the weary brain and silence to my sorrow keen.